Hello, everyone, and welcome to League Review. I'm your host, William, and today we are talking LCK Week 3, not preseason, Week 3 for the LCK. And this is going to be a quick one again, because if you want to know why the podcasts are starting late recently, is that we actually all of our friends are getting back into League. It's really weird. It used to essentially just be me and Brian. Even Brock didn't play League outside of ARAMs. And now, like, Brock's playing, our friend Zach, Lars, my brother, my cousin, they're all playing League now. So it's like, we actually have friends to play with. It's fun. But, yeah, that's why it's been late, because we've been playing games. And I'm like, oh, I got to go do the podcast. But then it'll be like, one more before I go to bed. I'm like, okay, okay. But anyway, let's get right into the games. And this will be again quick because, like, sorry, so sorry, but it's okay. It's just match history. I think match history goes a little too long anyway, so I try to speed it up. A Freak of Freaks versus Hanwha Life. First game, a Freak of Freaks. This was a boring game, by the way. 3-2. I'm sorry. I love China's kill, team fights, everything. I'm not a big fan of the control style. Never have been. That's why I never watched League originally until like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Professional League, I should say. But yeah, this is basically a Freak of Freaks was leading the whole time. Aatrox is a broken champion. He got the first kill. I know he only went 1-1-1, but I think that champion is so strong, and they just simply just got out split pushed and just out. Afrika just they know how to win games right now. They look really good. I'm really impressed with how they look. They also won the next game 2-0. This one had a few more kills, but the same old, same old. Afrika was winning the entire game. Nothing too crazy. Aatrox again looking a lot better on the 3-0 and 6. Even against Fiora, which Fiora is supposed to be a counter to him, not so much. Because it's a free W parry because you know his things are going to knock you up and you can see exactly where it goes on the ground. Next was Sandbox versus Griffin, the first game. Griffin started out strong with the first blood, and after that, I believe Papa Smithy had a tweet about this, and it was your Sonataric finishes their quest at 7 minutes, or your Sona finishes their quest at like 7 minutes. You get first blood, you get Rift Herald, and then you proceed to lose the game by 7k gold like 10 minutes later. From that moment, I think it was like 25 to yeah, so it was about 20 minutes later, you had a 7k gold deficit. Like, how does that happen? That they just did not play the team comp properly at all, and Sandbox took great advantage of that. Um, Game number two, though, Sandbox did not take advantage of anything as Griffin pulled out the Yumi, pulled out the Lucian, along with Chovy and the Akali, one of his best picks. Then we also had Sword not playing tank but playing the Jace, also his best. I'd say his best bruiser. I think it's just Jace in general is really strong. But yeah, this was a 16k gold lead, not even close the whole way through. 19 to 2, 11 towers to 1. Like you could do the math on how that game went. Um Next game though, Griffin suffered their first series loss against Sandbox. Sandbox was the team last spring split where they took the very first game off of Griffin, and I want if I ever make a highlight reel of my big smart picks, one of them that was not going in there is me saying Sandbox is going to finish in eighth. Did I say eighth or ninth place at the beginning of the year? I had them really far down. I thought they were totally going to not do good, finish in the bottom half of the thing, almost go to relegations possibly. I thought they were going to be solved because that's kind of how they looked in playoffs last year. Not the case. They are in first place, and they are tied for first place with the win against Griffin. And this game, again, Griffin did not play the Sona correctly They solved this later on in the week, spoiler alert, but in this series, the Sona for Viper did not look good. Yeah, I feel like he practiced it after this because both these games were free wins for Sandbox. Next, because we have a lot to go through. Genji versus Jin I did pick Jin to win a game here, I believe, and they did not because it's Jin 13 to 2, huge blowout for Genji. You can tell, just everyone's destroying on Genji's side. Jin kind of doing nothing. They got a kill here. They got 1 for 5. That's a trade, right? And then yeah, that's about it. They got a tower as well, so that's cool. That's about it for Jin. Next game. They did do much better this game, but they didn't have the lead from the 3 minute mark where they had a 100 gold lead, and then they didn't have it for the rest of the game. They just were picking up like 2 kills here and giving up a Baron, 3 kills in a tower, and then an inhib, and then another tower. Yeah, so you get the point. Like they were giving up a lot of stuff. They couldn't. The Sivir Yumi comp is so strong that it actually gave Jin 4 kills. And outside of that, Grace had a terrible game on the Renekton over the Azir. He went 0-6. That's not what you want to see your Renekton. They gave Jin everything they need with Aatrox and Sivir Yumi. You pretty much got like the strongest things you can get in almost all in 3 of your roles, and then nothing happened from it. So they lost. Jin typical. Next we have Kingzone versus SKT. Kingzone coming out real strong in this one with the first win. Nayeon had a 3-1 in 7 game on the Azir. That Azir is popping off. If Korean Azir, like the Korean League's Azir, is still mighty strong. You can even see it in like Crown in NA. That pick that they love because of the late game implications of that, where you can just wave clear like crazy. That I don't necessarily like the pick too much, but it does seem to still work in LCK. I don't think it'll work too much in many other regions, and I don't think it has worked in many other regions. But in LCK, it's still working really strong. And then we had the Rakan Zaya take down the Sivir Lux, which I actually find kind of surprising. Usually Sivir Lux has enough poke and wave clear to deal with Rakan Zaya, but Deft has just had a simply phenomenal game. And then Khan didn't play great on the Aatrox. We have the Kled counter into that, and that was really interesting. Like that we've had the Kled counter quite a few times into Aatrox before, during not during Worlds, but I believe during LPL spring split. But we didn't like Doinby plays the Kled mid, and there's just no. That's not Doinby. That's shoot. Is it Yagao? I can't remember. Someone in LPL plays Kled mid, and I cannot think of their name at the moment. But yeah, it's good. That was when Aatrox was going mid, and that became a counter to him, and it's kind of nice. It works, but it worked in that game. I don't think it's like a super hard counter, like can't win, because I think Aatrox in team fighting is just so disgustingly strong right now. He just needs that takedown to get that revive, and just it can completely change a team fight. Next, SKT did beat Kingzone the next game, 3-1 and 7 on the. They pull out the Sivir and Lux again. This time against the Ezreal Tahm Kench, and the Ezreal Tahm Kench definitely cannot handle the wave clear of Sivir and Lux, and even Lux with the spell shield to stop the Ezreal poke, so it doesn't do too much damage. Faker also popped off on the Yasuo, which they did the Gragas Yasuo combo, and it worked out beautifully. They were winning the entire game. Did lose a Baron here, but for that Baron they got 5 kills. 5 kills, a tower, an inhib, another tower. I'll take that trade. Game number 3, though, Kingzone was able to be victorious. They stole over the Aatrox. They brought it into the jungle, and it worked great. It went 2-1 and 4, but it was only a 6-kill game where they got the kill early on Nico. They gave Nico the kill against Khan. Khan had a terrible game on the Kennen. 0-4. Not what you want to do when your team only gives up 6 kills and you're 4 of them. You're 66% of your team's deaths. Not great. The bot lane is the other 33%. Actually, there's an execute somewhere in here. I don't remember that. But yeah, somewhere in there there's an execute, but not important. All these kills. This look. I mean, what can I say in this game? SKT just got destroyed. They got 1 kill. And when they got that kill, they gave up two kills and a Rift Herald for it. So it was not a good trade. And they didn't get a single tower, a single dragon, no barons, no inhibs, nothing. It was just a big blow up by Kingzone, and SKT lost again. Like, they're not looking good at all. They possibly might not make Worlds themselves. Where we talk about IG possibly not making Worlds, SKT might not be there as well. Next we have KT versus Damwon Gaming. KT, I believe I started out. Where's my sheet, by the way? I had a bad week. Yeah, I had a 4-6 week, and I only had one game, one series where I went correctly, by the way, like fully through. So this was a very rough week for me in predictions. But we started out last year in Korea 4-6 and 4-6. So we're already a little bit better by at least 2 games. Hopefully we can improve. Been having some rough picks this split actually. Outside of China, where I'm above 71%, the rest of my picks are not looking too hot. I'm kind of disappointed with myself because the meta hasn't changed too much. I should know better. Maybe I'm taking a little bit too many bold picks, but I don't know. I just don't think I'm reading the teams properly at the moment. This one, KT just absolutely destroyed. As you can tell, it was kind of close, and then they took the Baron, 4 kills. You know the drill. You know the drill by now. Next, Damwon came back though. That Sivir Lux bot lane is one of the most disgusting bot lanes, but that's not important. Showmaker was what was important. 10-0-7 on the Akali. I hate the Galio mid pick. It's not good. I don't like that whatsoever. Yumi doesn't. I don't think Yumi looks fantastic with Ashe. I get her ult, but you never want your Ashe moving super forward. I feel like with Sivir, she has the speed buffs and the spell shield to keep her safe. With Ezreal, he has the blink to get out. With who else do you play Yumi? Lucian, the dash. Anyone that has some type of mobility and escapes, it's okay to play Yumi with. I don't like it too much with the Ashe, and it did not work in this game at all. A lot of big team fights, as you can tell. There was a pentakill for Showmaker, which is also really good. Yeah, and just clean up all over the place. Oh no, it wasn't a pentakill. Sorry, it was a triple kill, but it looks like a pentakill. That should have been a pentakill, but it was an unofficial pentakill, is what we say. I was gonna say I don't remember a pentakill. I said that out loud, and I'm like, I don't remember this pentakill happening. Like I remember there was one, but it wasn't that game. It was with Aurelia in Turkey for Supermassive. Pulled that one out. I can't tell you the player who did it though. I'm still learning the players from all the minor regions, so you're gonna have to give me probably the entire split to learn those. Game 3, score entered. We're gonna pretty much leave it at that. Jungler went 1-9. This is when you're in your series right here. Autofill jungler, please help. And no one fills for him. Yeah, that was not a good game. Disappointing by score, but he's had a better year at least than he has usually. This one just wasn't his game. He's also I would say he's the only frontline, but he wasn't. Aatrox and Smeb and Snowflower should have been up there as well. But this game all around was just all in Damwon's favor. So KT kind of lost. Not good. Griffin versus Hanwha Life. Griffin took victory against them. They pretty much crushed them. As you could tell, Viper improved his Sona game. 9-0-0. If you watch this game, if you want to see how difficult Sona can be, and if you think Zoe is a difficult champ to play and busted, well, how about Sona where she gets an auto attack and a Q and you die, so you don't even have to aim. You don't even have to aim the point and click. You just hit Q. You don't have to point at someone. You just go boop and done. Kill. It was disgusting. They had 9 kills as a team, by the way. Just if you didn't realize that, Sona had 9 kills, as in 100% of the kills on the team. Next game, I think Life was just tilted because they didn't even take the lead from this one as well. Viper went over to a traditional ADC with Kai'Sa and Sangyun and Ki. They have not had a good split. All of Hanwha's look really bad this split, to be honest. Muujin, 1-3, not good, not good. Kingzone versus Afrika. This was a very exciting series. This is the one where Tucson was popping off on the bike at 7-4 and 7, and Nahon also went 6-1 and 11 on the Zoe, or not Zoe, that's a Nico, but the Magi's. Aatrox good. This is just a good team. I don't like the Karthus personally in this team comp, but it did work. It did work. And yeah, this is a very good win. It was a very close game for the first 23 minutes. Never got past 1K gold lead, or I guess there you go, 1.3k gold. At one time, at 22 minutes, it was 1.3k, but then they had some shutdowns go over, so it went to a 100 gold lead. So then until the 24th minute was when it eventually went Kingzone's way when they got the Baron. They got some picks, they got the Baron, and eventually won that game. I just skipped over game two. Let me just tell you that Afrika won because I don't feel like opening back up. Afrika won game two, but that one was a super close game as well. In this game, game three was a little bit more of a blowout in Afrika's favor, where we had Keen on the Camille just destroy the Aatrox. Keen looked absolutely disgusting, pretty much the entire series. Camille and Sejuani is just a nasty, nasty combo. You also had Natalia, and Yukal's been playing out of his mind this split. All of Afrika, they're keeping the same roster in. They're playing Dread every day, playing Yukal every day. Keen's always played every day, aiming and ascending as well. So Afrika is looking really good this split. Honestly, one of the best teams in all of the LCK. Next, we had Sandbox versus SKT. Sandbox came off the first game with just a pretty decisive victory, 7-3. The only 3 kills coming later, and for trade-offs, like 2 kills for the Baron. Like Sandbox took the Baron and got a kill, and then gave up 2 kills right after that. But they still had 3 Barons to go around, so they take that trade all day of the week. Clid actually did not have that good a game. SKT in general are just having a very, very bad split so far. It's very disappointing to see. Because next game, Summit, Sandbox just won again, and this time they played the Sona Tom Kent, and they really didn't even do that much with it personally. The Braum Sivir lane kind of destroyed that, but you had Faker in the mid lane on Camille. He didn't look that strong. Natalia countered it pretty well. On Fleek, going with the Xin Zhao, just was able to bully out the Elise early, and then Elise became kind of worthless. She did 50% of the kills on the team, but Khan also on the Rise just got beat up by the Jace and could not properly split push as the team. Like this team wants a split push with Camille. They want a 1-3-1 with Camille and Rise, and because Camille and Rise were behind, they really couldn't control any sideways whatsoever, and eventually Sona just gets too scary, especially with Xin Zhao, and they just end the game. As you can tell, SKT was winning for a little bit here, but then they just could not hold on because they weren't managing their sideways properly. Because they couldn't, they were so far behind. Next, we had KT versus Gen G. I picked Gen G to win this one. This was also rough because I lost the last 4 series and the last 5 of the 6 series. I started this week 3-1, so that was not bad, and then I went 1-5 after that, so it was brutal. KT came in, just absolutely destroyed Samsung. Not Samsung, Gen G. But yeah, you could see the 3 kills that Gen G got were all for 2 towers. And then this was the 1 kill for 2 kills, 2 inhibs and 2 towers. Next 1 kill for 4 kills. None of those are worth, so those kills really do not matter. Rek'Sai just simply outclassed the Olaf, and a Smeb on the Aurelia looked really good against Kuve. Did not look good on the Aatrox whatsoever. Next, Kuve looked good on the on the Kennen because this game was all Samsung. Oh my god, I said Samsung 2 times now, but this game was all Gen G. Wow, I don't think I've ever said Samsung in a single podcast, and there was 2 times in the last 3 seconds or 5 seconds. This one with Gen G's ruler, we had him on the Sona Tom Kent, which is starting to become the new bot lane without the Taric. It's kind of weird to me, but it works. If it works, it works. Yeah, I'm very surprised that Prey and Snowflower played so poorly. Hang on, my dog wants in my room. But I'm very surprised they played so poorly because Rakan Zaya should be able to bully out Tom Kent very easily, I think, because of Rakan's ability for AoE knock-up and AoE charm. And Tom Kent, Sona's so squishy, and Tom Kent eats her, you should still be able to get Tom Kent as well with that charm. And it just didn't happen. And they also had the Gragas Yasuo and Aatrox Yasuo, frankly, and Rakan Yasuo. They had a really good team comp. This is one of the team comps that you're like, oh, this is totally fine. The team comp was fine. The execution was just poor. Game number 3. This was it was a 2-1 series, but it wasn't very close. All three games were major blowouts, as you can tell. This game was 14-2. KT Prey absolutely popping off on the Kalista. BDD playing the Aatrox mid. I do like the Karma mid, and I honestly like this team comp as well with the Yumi, with the Olaf, Karma with the Olaf, Karma with Kennen. It all works again. This one just also for Gen G this time did not work out. And it's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you have a bad team comp, but like I see I'm right where people always blame the team comps necessarily in the draft. Sometimes it just comes. I'm guilty of that too, by the way. I'm super guilty of that where I blame drafts a lot where I probably shouldn't as much. But this one was definitely a situation where it was execution in pretty much all those games. This game. This series. I picked Jin Air. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick my once a year prediction on Jin Air. I'm gonna do it here against Damwon Gaming. They win the first game 12-3, blowout fashion, almost pretty much winning the entire from the entire point on from when they got first blood to they got the dragon, and they were winning the entire game. Root and Kellen, the Yumi looks fantastic. Root had the safety against Barrel. Like that's what I like against Zaya Rakan, where the safety of Ezreal can get away from the Yumi, and then you can't lock him down, both of them. Then you had Grace on Lysandra to negate Showmaker from doing anything. Nogri actually got destroyed by Linderong up top. Malorang had a really good game on the Olaf. Everything was going great for me. I'm like, oh man, I'm a genius with Jin Air here. Then game 2 happened. And Jin Air, they were close for the first 17 minutes. It was a pretty back and forth game. Believe it. The triple kill to Showmaker, not good at the beginning. Grace had a very rough game, the Silas, but outside of that, Nogri also went 8-0 on the Vlad. That doesn't help either. He got 3 kills there, 2 kills there, another one there, 2 kills there. He got a lot of double kills. Uh, yeah, I'm like, okay, Jin Air, they can come back, right? Nope. weren't leading one time, and during this game, I'm just sitting here watching it. Like, sorry if I hit the mic. I'm just sitting there like this. I did get excited for when they got the Infernal. I'm like, oh, they got the Infernal, and then they gave up 4 kills after getting the Infernal, and I'm like, oh, that's not. Infernals are good and all, but uh, giving up Infernals for 4 kills, not so much. I was so depressed after that first victory by Jin Air. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna win my Jin Air pick, and it. I should have known better. That's why I have a bad record, right? Picking Jin Air. That's the reason. God, not worth it. Not worth it to ever pick Jin Air. Learn from me. All right. Next, let's go. While I do this, let's go to our power rankings. And first up, we have Sandbox as number 1 because they actually defeated Griffin, so I felt like they deserved number 1. It's a tie at the top. It's a 4-way tie. It's not as crazy as what we have in NA, where we're trying to be basically like EU with as many tiebreakers as possible. But we have Sandbox as number 1 because they beat Griffin this week, and I just felt like that was the best case scenario for anything to happen. Where I have Griffin number 2. This should actually be a drop. There we go. Griffin has moved down to number 2 this week because of said losing to Sandbox, and I think that I still think Griffin's fine. I think they're definitely a top team. Same situation where I have Afrika as number 3 now because they've looked phenomenal. They have a victory over SKT. They have a victory over Kingzone. They took a game off of Griffin. So Afrika's really playing well right now, and I think that absolutely deserves the number 3 spot. If you're taking victories or at least taking a game off all the other top teams, you deserve to be up there with them. And you're not losing to any bad teams as well. Kingzone dropped to number 4 because they did lose to Afrika this week, and they did beat SKT though. KT's moved up to number 5 with their victory. I don't think it wasn't too much. SKT I have dropped to number 6. I still have them number 6 even though they're 1-3, and I know they're tied for 8th currently, but I just feel like this team should, if in a power ranking setting, this team should be stronger than where they're at. And I think they are stronger than Gen.G and Damwon, respectively, where I had them at 7 and 8. Damwon's victory this week did come against KT. Now that I realize that, Damwon did win 2 games this week. So we're actually going to make an on-the-spot prediction change where we're going to have Damwon, who was 7th. No, they were 7th last week, so we're gonna that should change to yellow. And Gen.G was 7th, so Damwon was 6th last week, so it's still down, but it just happens because I had to move up KT. That doesn't sound right at all. We're gonna we're just gonna leave it now though, because I realized those power rankings are a little weird. Because I think in my head when I was doing the power rankings, I think I thought KT beat Damwon, and then I forgot that way. Oh wait, no, they didn't. They lost. So I think that's where the confusion came in. Hanwha Life number 9 though, they're looking really bad this split so far. I believe their only win is against Jin Air, and the rest of the teams are kind of clobbering them. Jin Air. They're not moving from the last place spot for a long time. Not at all. Next, we have our week 3 predictions. And we'll get over these really quickly because we're 25 minutes in already and a solo podcast. But first up, we have SKT versus Damwon Gaming. I believe that I'm going to have SKT come out with a victory against Damwon. I know it's crazy. I still believe, even though they're 1-3, I think that they should be able to handle Damwon. Damwon's coming off back-to-back victories against KT and Jin Air. Not the two strongest teams. KT's an okay win, but Jin Air is a free win for everyone usually, so they should be able to. I don't. It's like the thing where I don't fault people for losing. Move them up. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. Here we go. We'll do. We're gonna switch Damwon. We're gonna put KT here, and we're gonna put SKT there. Happy? SKT drops, Damwon moves up, and KT stays the same as last week. There we go. I still think SKT is going to beat him, though. Biased. Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Like I said, in my head, I think while I was doing the power rankings, I mistook it for Damwon losing to KT, but they did not. Damwon, though, I think they're going to lose to SKT. 2-1, close series. I think they'll finally come back, though. Hey, Brian, by the way, are we playing ranked after this? Let me know. Jin Air versus King Zone, that's an easy one. King Zone 2-0, no analysis needed. Griffin over KT, I think that one should probably be an easy one as well. I don't think KT has enough to handle with Griffin. I'm not completely sure. Sold on this KT team. I think that they're very wishy-washy. They're 2-2, obviously, so the 50-50. They win some games and lose some games. Makes sense, right? But I think that this KT team, people were buying really high on them, and I agree. I was up there, not as crazy as some people, but I definitely had them in the playoffs, and like I believe top 4, top 5 team, and it hasn't planned. I don't think I've seen enough from them to justify that. Where Griffin, they did lose to Sandbox, but Sandbox looks pretty good. And Griffin doesn't look like the undefeatable monster they did in the regular season last year, but they still look good enough. I don't think. Yeah, it is. It is because of Prey, absolutely. That's why I put him. I believe it put him 5th at the preseason, literally because of Prey, and I just he's warming up still. He obviously isn't at peak form yet, but it's like the rest of the team isn't doing great. Like Score and Smeb haven't looked phenomenal coming back, and that's what they kind of needed as well for them to get back in form as well. But I don't know. Some people had them winning the LCK split, or at least going to the finals. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Though LCK looks really weak right now. Like low key, LCK kind of looks as bad as NA. Like that's kind of bold to say, I think, but it's kind of true. It's kind of true. Gen G versus Hanwha Life. This game is not very fun to watch. This is kind of a coin flip, but I think that Hanwha Life has been playing so poorly. I say it's a coin flip, but I'm picking a 2-0. Gen G is going to win 2-0. I don't like Gen G as a team either. Outside of Ruler, they're not playing great themselves. But Hanwha Life looks really bad right now. Sangyun and Key don't look like they're on the same page whatsoever. Their jungler doesn't look like they're on the same page. Like the whole team looks like a complete mess. If Jin Air wasn't in this league, they would be dead last for sure. Let me scroll up. Let me scroll up super quick. I just want to see, where was Hanwha Life's victory? Was it against Jin Air? I don't remember. No, it was against KT. Look at that. Yeah, the one time they looked good was against KT. That sounds very KT-like. Brian, have you ever decided to become a KT fan to match with your CLG fandom? They're pretty much the same team. Next, though, we have where do we have Gen G? So we left that Gen G. What's right there? Sandbox versus Afrika. This is going to be pretty much the match of the one of the matches of the week. I would say, honestly, record-wise and how the teams are performing, this would be the match of the week. But I think just off name recognition alone, that the one coming up down here was going to be match of the week. But Sandbox versus Afrika, this is going to be a really close one, I think. I think Sandbox has the edge slightly just because they're coming off a victory off of Griffin. Afrika is also coming off a victory against Kingzone. But I just want to believe in the Sandbox team. I think that they're just playing out of their minds again, which is amazing to see because I just like seeing a team that no one had any expectations for coming into LCK. And, excuse me, they did really good last split. Kind of fell out towards the end, but did good enough. Much better than anyone expected. And then coming right back onto the and hitting the ground running in summer split here, and I'm taking down Griffin, tying for first place, like taking like looking to be competitive for first. They were up there with Griffin for pretty much the first like 60% of the split last year. They were in first, second. They were like in second place pretty much the whole time, right behind Griffin. They fell off, like I said, towards the end, but they definitely deserve some praise here, I think, and that's why I got them beating Afrika 2-1. I'm still worried about Afrika. They're looking really strong right now, but I'm just remembering them from last split. But I think last split the issue was because they had a 10-man roster. And I don't like 10-man rosters, frankly. Like, to be honest, I think that you have the same five. I've talked about this before. If you have the same 5-man roster, they all scrim the same amount of time. They all build synergy in scrims with each other. Where if you have 10-man roster, you're scrimming like maybe you just subbed out mid lane this time, so now mid and jungle have a difference. But if you sub out jungle this time with a different mid, now they have a different. Like they're not building as much synergy. And I think it just messes up too much. One or two is okay, but when you have all five, it's a mess, in my opinion. Which was what happened last in the spring with Afrika, and they looked terrible. Next, Kingzone, they should easily beat Damwon. I have that one 2-0. Griffin, frankly, I think this is going to be called the game of the week, but I think this is going to be a 2-0 by Griffin. SKT looks nowhere near peak form to perform well against Griffin. I messed up this sentence pretty bad, but I think Griffin should be able to handle that 2-0 as well. I think Hama Life 2-0 against Jin Air. You were like, oh wow, you just called Hama Life super bad, and like you picked Jin Air to beat Damwon last week. Yeah, and it was a mistake. They won a game, but so Jin Air actually has double the wins this year than they did all of last year or all of last split. So that's exciting, but they're still not going to win a series apparently. They won one series last split. I lied because they did win that series. They they had 3 wins total with the series win. I forgot about the series win. I thought they only had 1 win total. That's my fault. But they're up to 2 game wins, I think, or maybe 3. No, I think they're at 2. But yeah, they're gonna lose to Hama. I said 2-0. I'm gonna change it to 2-1. 2-1. They'll take another game. They're taking baby steps. They're becoming the Vici Gaming of LCK, where they're gonna take a game here and now, but they're not gonna be able to close the series. Finally, to wrap it up, Afrika over Gen G. That one should be a 2-0. Afrika should bounce back off of their loss from Sandbox. Gen G won't be able to handle that. And Sandbox quickly to beat KT 2-0 as well. And I forgot to I will put that all in here super quick. So just to recap people, so you can see, so I don't cheat my picks. Gen G, Sandbox, Kings. There was a situation I saw on my last podcast where I actually picked Sunning on my notepad, but then I said Dominius in on the podcast itself, and I typed in Dominius there. I'm gonna keep it Dominius, even though I technically had Sunning on my prediction, but I made an argument. I was really back and forth on that one. Didn't work out. Sunning kind of killed Dominius, and I am so depressed about that. Dominius is done. I'm done with him. But yeah, so that is going to be the podcast, though. Tomorrow we will be doing our very first, our second LMS podcast of the split, where we have the first results, which if you tell me them, I don't know. That's what I'm gonna be watching tomorrow to catch up, because I have fallen quite behind on LMS. But after LMS, Thursday will be LEC, and then Saturday or Friday will be the Wild Card podcast, which is always fun to watch. Not too many people watched it, but it's always fun to do. It's fun, crazy. Your doll is there. It's all good fun. But yeah, if you want to catch up on those, let me know, and I'll see you Friday for that. But yeah, with that, we will end the podcast. So thank you guys for coming to watch, and I'll see you tomorrow for LMS. Good night.